Hi everyone, it's Mari here from Mari Clark Creations. Thank you so much for joining me today here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be creating this scrapbooking layout today. This definitely has a Father's Day theme. I'm going to be using the gorgeous Discover and Create collection from Vicki Boutin, and I'm going to take you through this entire process today. So I'm starting off my layout here with a piece of white cardstock. This is actually the Scrapbook and Cards Today 12 by 12 white cardstock. I love it. It's a really nice bright white, and it's just really great for a base for a scrapbooking layout. Now, I am going to be working with some Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink, and this is a stencil, I believe, that is from Discover and Create, but it is one of Vicki's stencils, and I think I have every one of her stencils from all of her collections. I love them. They're a really nice quality, and they're a nice size, so they're really great for working on all kinds of different projects you might be working on in your space. And I'm just taking a blending brush here and blending on some of that speckled egg onto this white paper. Now, a lot of this is going to get covered up. This is actually just going to provide a bit of a border on my layout. So I wasn't really too worried about this being really super perfect. I just want a little bit of that impression of this really cool pattern. I really like working with circles in both card making and scrapbooking and art journaling for that matter. It's just a really nice shape. It just works nicely for most things that you're doing, and I love incorporating circles. And so this was the pattern that I decided on today, and this does obviously, it's going to work well with lots of different types of shapes and motifs that you might want to use in your projects. So I'm just working on this here to finish up, and this is just going to create this really pretty pattern and just really kind of random. Some are darker, some are lighter, just using a little bit of variation in the pressure that I'm using on with my brush. And there you have that all finished up. Now I have sized that down to 11 inches by 11 inches. And I thought I was going to use that aqua paper, but I actually changed my mind here. But I am going to be using this Daily News pattern paper from Discover and Create. Now I want to create a little frame with this paper. This paper is so cool. I really love it. There's so many different ways that you could use this paper. And this is the type of patterned paper that I personally would like about 10 sheets of in my stash, because it's going to just provide a really nice neutral texture to whatever it is that you're doing. Now I'm going to cut this down to 9 by 9. I want it to be a square that's 2 inches smaller than my white paper with that stenciling on it. And so that paper's 11 by 11. So I'm cutting this down to 9 by 9, and then I'm going to gut it so that it actually is going to become a 1-inch frame. So I'm going to just go ahead and take my ruler. You'll just see me here working away with that, and my track trimmer from Tim Holtz. That trimmer blade was just stuck there. I just got that going, and I'm just using the measurements on the trimmer, but I'm also just using my ruler a little bit here too. I'm making pencil marks just to make sure I get this accurate. And I'm going to also line up the cutting lines with those little guidelines that are on the blade. I love this trimmer. If you haven't purchased this one yet, or you've been on the fence, or you're not, you already have a track trimmer, maybe you don't need another one, but I really like this one. It works really well, and I've been really, really happy with it. So you'll just see me here turning this paper until I get that, basically that center gutted out of the paper, leaving this really cool little 1-inch frame. And I'm going to use that to create kind of the focal point for my project today. So I really love that text. And I am actually going to orientate this not the way that it probably was intended, but I'll explain that when I am working through this here. I did switch my colored cardstock here to powder blue from Basil. And I just thought that that looked better and worked better with the speckled egg and some of the other colors that I'm going to be using in the project. And so I'm just trimming that down so that it will back my frame. Now I am going to put that May 26th May in French down at the bottom, because that is literally the date that the photos were taken that I'm using in this layout. And I thought that was just such a cool coincidence. And so I wanted to have that oriented to the bottom of my layout. Now I've watered down my speckled egg a little bit, and I'm just using this small brush to do just a little bit of fine splattering on that stenciled paper there, and just to add that little bit of extra interest. To be honest, I wish I had splattered on my blue cardstock as well that's behind my frame. I didn't. I can still go back and do that, but I don't do that on camera, or that is not done in the photograph. So that's something to think about adding. I think it would have added a little bit more interest to the layout. So here you can just see I've got that all dried up now. I'm just going to take my scrapbook.com dot runner here. I love this particular dot runner. It is removable, so it's really nice to work with this for this application specifically, where I want to just tack this paper down centered onto that powder blue cardstock, because I am going to take that to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew all the way around the perimeter. So I've done that there. I will show you that up close, but I'm just at this point smoothing that out, and I really love the way that that finishes off the edge of that white paper. I do this lots with my scrapbooking. If you've seen my layouts in the Scrapbook on Cards magazine, I often do that on my magazine layouts. I just really like how it finishes off the project. So I've got that sewing done now. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my frame onto that powder blue background here. And again, I'm using this repositionable adhesive from scrapbook.com just because I love it. And I just want to make sure that I've got this in the right place. And if I don't, then I can remove it and reposition it. Now I'm taking a 1/2 inch foam tape and I'm adding that to the back of this entire piece. I want this to have a little bit of dimension on my project. So I'm actually going to go all the way across the entire piece with this foam adhesive, and I'll take that backer off, and then I will adhere that down centered to the white paper. And now you can just see things are starting to come together for the project. I really love how this is looking. It's just going to be, there's going to be some really nice details, but it's still going to kind of look really clean, which I like. I like that look. So these are florals that I have fussy cut out of that floral patterned paper from Discover and Create, my favorite paper by far from the entire collection. I love it. It is perfect for fussy cutting. And I love Vicki's florals in this collection. I think they're gorgeous. The colors are absolute perfection for me. I'm a huge fan of blues, and I love the complementary color scheme of blue and orange. So just really love this collection so much. It's one of my all-time favorites from Vicki. Now I am going to pop up some of these florals with a little bit of foam adhesive and just pop those down and get those onto my project. And I just wanted to do that just to create, again, that little bit of extra detail. And so getting that added on, and then I will also pop my 2 photos up on a little bit of pattern paper. This is that pattern paper that has the circles on one side and then the grid, the orange grid on the other side. I will link up to everything in the description box below, friends. So if you're looking for these things, and if we can still find them in stock, I will be sure to link them up in the description box. So the photos are printed at 2.5 inches square in color. And I'm going to, like I said, pop these up and add them to those pattern paper squares, which are 3 inches square. And now we have our 2 photos for our project. These 2 photos are photos of my husband with my grandson. We kept my grandson when my daughter was having her second baby. And these photos are taken when we had our sweet little boy on those days, which is that date that's at the bottom there. And this layout is just about, about my husband and my little grandson, how dedicated my husband is to him. He is just the best grandpa. And I really had fun making this layout as part of a Father's Day gift for him. So the title is Papa, and actually those are thickers from my stash. I think they were from Felicity Jane. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add a few little details here and there. So this is another one of those little fussy cut florals from that floral paper. I've popped that up onto some foam adhesive and added that as a center onto one of the other flowers. And then I'm just going to continue that process, adding a few little bits and pieces of details to some of these little areas. So from the sticker sheet, I'm just going in and adding one of these those little black heart stickers with the foil. And I'm actually going to add that to this little circle that I've punched from another flower center. And we are going to put that into the center of another one of the flowers. So just building up that dimension and depth and interest in that way. So go ahead and add this little circle punch piece to the center of that flower, and then I'll add that little black sticker with the gold heart into the center of that. Now, this is one of the ephemera pieces from Discover and Create. I added the journaling onto that, and this is going to be some hidden journaling. So I've written the journaling out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pocket for that journaling on the back of the layout. So I'm just taking my foam adhesive and I'm creating a pocket that's the same size as the dimensions of the die cut piece with the journaling on it. So that opening there is going to be just a slightly bit larger than the journaling spot. Now I'll just take a piece of white cardstock and cover over that, and then the journaling just fits in there. Now I'm going to take that journaling spot and I'm going to just go ahead and crease that with my bone folder. And I'm going to add a couple of little stickers. One says on that pencil, captured memories. And then there's a little arrow just to indicate like to pull that open. And then what I did was I actually took that to my sewing machine and I added some sewing to the top of it just to add that little bit of extra texture. So here you can just see I'm fussing again with the centers of the flowers. I did a little circle punch there in white for that flower at the top, and I'm going to add another one of these little black stickers to the center of that. And that is pretty much going to finish off the layout. So the journaling is hidden for this project, which I love. And I just wanted to finish this off with this really sweet little butterfly, which I think is adorable. And it just kind of fills in that little gap that was created. I do intend to go back and add some white splatter to this project. I think it will just finish up that blue open space above Papa nicely. And I think it will also just really bring the flowers and the butterfly alive a little bit more as well. So that is another thing that I intend to do to this layout before it's completely finished. Friends, that's my project for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy Father's Day to all of the families out there celebrating Father's Day this weekend. Really love this project and definitely going to give this as a gift for my husband this weekend for Father's Day. Here's a few still shots of the layout here, and I hope you have an amazing day. Make sure that you check out the description box below for links to all of the different products that I've used in my project. Bye, friends, and I'll see you again.